Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day today. Today, we're just going to do a little get ready moment with me, but we're going to use all drugstore products. This is the kind of makeup that I'd wear every day for like work or anything like that. If you're new here, hi, my name is Vivian. I am an engineer, but I love all things beauty and makeup related. Here on this channel, I want to try and put more of an emphasis on conscious consumption and using up products that you already have and love. So if you're interested in that kind of content, be sure to stick around and subscribe, and let's hop into the video. So I already have my sunscreen on. I put on the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. My foundation routine and or my makeup routine in general, the steps are usually pretty much the same no matter what, but sometimes I'll switch out different products. So everything I have here today is drugstore, which I am glad because there are so many affordable drugstore options, and you don't need to spend luxury prices. You don't need to spend money on luxury products when there are a lot of products at the drugstore that are just as good, if not better. If you want to see a high-end version of this though, or just my current favorite products version of this, please let me know in the comments down below. Since I just put down the Unseen sunscreen, and that's more like a mattifying sunscreen. It's one of those silicone-y textures. I do like a little bit of glow in my routine. So first I'm gonna go in with this L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I have mine in the shade 902 Light Glow. So this is kind of the same type of product as the Oric Glowless and the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. It kind of just gives all of your skin just a really pretty glow. And for this one, I just use my hands to blend. I do quite like this. This particular shade is more pinky than the shades I have in the Oric Glowless and the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, but it's a really nice alternative. You can kind of see there that it still just gives such a pretty sheen to the skin, and the base is actually quite clear, it blends out pretty clear, so it doesn't need to be a perfect match, but it really just gives such a pretty sheen. Now I do like a nice glow, so next I'm going to go in with this ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I have mine in the shade Light 7W, which this is a little bit light for... I got foundation on my shirt. So I just switched shirts real quickly. This is just a t-shirt I got from Target. We're just gonna ignore that and pretend it didn't happen. Oh. So I'm gonna take a pump of this on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use my beauty blender to blend this out. For the everyday, I don't want a ton of coverage, I just want enough just to even out my skin tone. On days that I'm rushing though, I will just blend this out with my hands without a beauty blender. But since I have rings on right now, I really don't want to get my rings dirty. Okay, I want just a tiny bit more coverage, so I'm going to pump out one more pump. And just do the same thing, but focusing on areas that I want to correct a little bit more. Okay, so that's foundation done. I'm just gonna blend down my neck because I feel like my neck is a little bit paler. Now that foundation is done, I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. This concealer is in my project pan, but it's also just a really good lightweight concealer for every day. So with this one, I usually just do under my eyes, around my nose, and a little bit on my forehead, just honestly just to use up the rest of the product that I click out, because sometimes I click out too much and I don't know what to do with it. I'm also going to take that concealer just onto my eyelids. Okay, so depending on my mood and how chubby I feel for the day, I will usually go in with like a contour. This one is not technically a contour. This is the Makeup Revolution Eyebrite concealer in the shade Deep Caramel. And this is said to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour one, the one that's like always sold out and like $40. So it's kind of like the same type of product where it has like a sponge tip applicator and you dot it onto your skin. I have both. I will say that this product has a little bit more of a warm tone than the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, which isn't a bad thing. They're actually pretty similar, but I'm basically just going to use this as like a cream contour, and I'll blend it out with my sponge. I know that looks crazy when I first put it on, but I just want my cheeks to not look as round as they are. And I find that even though it's a concealer, it's not super pigmented, so you really can't go like too out there with this, which is nice. I definitely feel like the sponge is the way to go though, just to make sure that you don't get any harsh lines and that it blends out the way you want it to. So I'm just gonna, and I'm actually gonna just take this down my neck a little bit so there's not as harsh of a line. This is not something I do every day, but I do this during days where I feel a little bloated, or if I want to just feel a little bit more, I don't know, snatched. And it really doesn't take long at all to do it. And instead of like a bronzer, I'll just do this, and then that'll be it. And if you go in with a little bit too much product, or you think it looks a little bit too intense, you can just go over the lines, over the edges with your sponge, but like the side that you use to blend out your foundation and stuff. See, I feel like my face just looks a little bit thinner in this area. So it's usually what I do. I don't usually go in with a bronzer. If I do like a contour, I find that just the shape of my face is enough. And honestly, I don't usually do contour or like bronzer on my forehead, just because my forehead is naturally darker, and the tinted moisturizer and stuff aren't like, they're not super full coverage, so I feel like putting bronzer on my forehead will make it look a little bit more unnatural. Next, I'm gonna go in with blush. I actually do two blushes. The first one is the Flower Beauty Blush Balm. This is in my project pan, and basically I squeeze out some on the back of my hand. Honestly, I squeeze out quite a bit since it shears out a lot. I'm gonna go in with my sponge again, and I'm gonna use my sponge to blend this out. Like, it really shears out. I can barely see this on my skin right now, but I feel like it gives just like a dewy look. And also, obviously, the sponge absorbs a lot of the products, so you're not going to have as much pigment from the sponge. But that's okay, because I go over it with a powder blush. The powder blush that I'm going to use is this Essence the Blush in the shade 20 Bespoke. It's pretty much just like a very warm neutral shade. And I'm going to use the ColourPop F30 brush, and I'm just going to like tap all around. This blush isn't super pigmented either, so I feel like you can't really go overboard if you tap your brush in a lot of times. I usually take my blush in pretty far, actually. I really like the sunburnt blush look. That's pretty much it for blush though. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. My packaging broke, and so the lid does not stay on, but this is a really nice, like, subtle highlighter. Okay, so for brows, I have two brow products here. First, this is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. This one is in the shade Deep Brown. This brow gel is super good for being a drugstore brow gel. It has fibers in it, so it'll make your brow hairs look thicker and fuller, which I really like. And I start in the middle and then work my way towards the tail. Usually because I somehow always have too much product on the actual spoolie, so I always mess up the middle, but that's okay. For my brow pencil, I'm going to use this e.l.f. Instant Lift brow pencil, also in the shade Deep Brown. This brow pencil is also in my project pan, and that's like all I have left of it, and I'm gonna finish it. I mainly just focus this in the sparse areas I have in my brows. I don't want like super blocky brows. I just want a little bit more even of brows. Okay, brows are done. Again, I always feel like my brows look pretty bad on camera, but like in real life, I think they look fine. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much. If you have any tips on making them look good on camera though, I'd love to know, because I feel like every time it's like different. For eyeshadow, I'm actually gonna go in with this e.l.f. Bite Size Quad. This is in Cream and Sugar. Depending on my mood, I might go in with the shimmer, but first I'm gonna start off by taking just a fluffy brush into this light brown shade. On me, this basically has no pigment, but it'll at least set the concealer on my lids so that it, I don't know, isn't sticky anymore. I don't necessarily need to set my lids because I don't really have creases on my lids. And that one, I kind of just like put it everywhere. I'm not super careful with it, and it usually turns out fine, so I'm not super worried about it. Okay, so for this dark brown shade, I'm going to take this liner brush. This is a Moda liner brush. I don't actually have like there's not actually like a name on here. It just says angle eyeliner. So I'm going to go in the dark brown shade, or the eyeshadows are super powdery, so I always tap off the excess whenever I use them. But basically, I'm gonna create a baby wing with eyeshadow. So just like a really small wing, and I basically just stop in the middle. Like I don't put the eyeshadow all the way on the inner corner. But it's like eyeshadow, so you don't have to be super precise with it. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. Okay, and that's basically all I do for eyeshadow. For mascara, when it comes to non-tubing formulas, I always have to use a waterproof mascara to hold the curl. So this is the Maybelline the Falsies Lash Lift mascara. This is actually not my favorite mascara. It's just the only drugstore mascara I have open right now, and I don't want to open up more unless I really need to. I do really like the, I believe it's the L'Oreal Air Volume mascara, the waterproof version, and the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. Basically, I've had a lot of good luck with L'Oreal mascaras, except the Lash Paradise. Didn't like that. I don't know if they make a waterproof version of the Lash Paradise, but that one didn't really work for me. So I'm gonna curl my lashes and then put on this mascara, and I will be right back. And with non-tubing formula mascaras, I find that my mascara smudges, usually like underneath my eyes, so I avoid putting mascara on my bottom lashes if it's not a tubing mascara. Even though this mascara is waterproof, I still find that it always smudges. I'm actually going to powder my face. I am going to use the CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder. I have mine is translucent. Mine is disgusting, so please ignore like how dirty it actually is. But this is in my project pan. I'm almost done with it. I've hit pan, repressed it, and I've hit pan again. So I'm really close to finishing this up, and this is just such a nice like everyday powder. It's more of like a finishing powder than necessarily a setting powder, but I like the way it makes my skin look. It mattifies any parts where I feel like are a little bit too shiny, and it's just overall like a really good powder. I mean, you can see how much I've used this and love it because I'm literally almost out of it. But when it comes to drugstore, this is so good. There you have it. For lips, I'm gonna line my lips with this NYX, I think it's just the lip pencil. This is in the shade Soft Brown. And I really like this lip pencil in Soft Brown in particular because I feel like it's literally my perfect like match to my actual lip line color. So I really like that. I am going to go in with a gloss. The gloss I'm going to be using is the Ulta Beauty like brand. This is the Juice Infused Lip Oil. I think this one is in Apple. And this says that it's a lip oil, but it's really more of just like a thicker gloss, but I still really like it, and I really like the formula. And it's always nice just to have like a clear gloss. That's it. That's the look. Depending on how much time and effort and how late I am, this look usually takes me around like 15 minutes if I'm not talking through it. Obviously this video is probably going to be a little bit longer just because I was talking through a lot of it. I feel like the part that always takes me the longest is actually my brows, because I feel like it takes me a long time to try and make my brows even, and they never look good on camera, but that's okay. We're learning to love them and accept them the way that they are. But that is everything. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe if you aren't already. Let me know what your like go-to everyday makeup is. I'd love to know. I would love to know what products you guys use for like your everyday look. If you like more like conscious consumption or just more drugstore videos in general, please let me know, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!